Good morning, everybody. We've got a higher trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:32 a.m. Central Time. We have December corn futures up 2.5 cents at 382. We have November soybeans up 9.5 cents at 1031. December Chicago wheat is up a half at 584 3/4. December Kansas City wheat up 1 at 525 1/4. December spring wheat up 1.5 at 537. We'll take a look at this crop progress report from USDA yesterday. The U.S. corn crop is 25% harvested versus 15 last week and 24 on average. Things appear to be moving along pretty well in most areas of the country. The crop is 87% mature versus 75 last week and 78 on average. The corn crop actually improved in terms of conditions, 62% good to excellent, up from 61 last week, behind the 66% average. Soybean harvest moving along very quickly. The U.S. bean crop is 38% harvested versus 20% last week and well ahead of the 28% average. Again, dry weather largely responsible for that faster than normal pace. The crop was rated 64% good to excellent. That is unchanged on the week and on par with the 5-year average. The U.S. winter wheat crop, 52% planted, up from 35 last week and 47 on average. Most areas or many areas in both HRW and SRW country are running ahead of schedule. That winter wheat crop is 24% emerged versus 10% last week and 21% on average. U.S. weather forecasts actually look a little bit wetter this morning. So for the next 7 days, most of the Corn Belt and the U.S. plains will see pretty minimal rainfall. It's about this time next week, Monday or Tuesday, that we will see some rains return to the Western Corn Belt, and they will eventually kind of push their way across the entire Corn Belt. So we do have a nice window here of dry weather between now and about this time next week, but there will be some rains that return during these next 7 days. Some of these rains associated with tropical storms and hurricanes, they're going to move a little bit further north than maybe some people had expected. Maybe as far north as Kentucky or even southern Illinois and Indiana could see some of these hurricane or tropical storm related rains this week. Lack of rainfall likely to delay soybean planting in some areas of Brazil. Analysts at private group Ag Rural said this week that early Brazilian beans are likely to be scarce during that first part of harvest that typically occurs in January. They said it's hard to imagine that even 1/3 of that crop will be harvested in January, given the current scenario. And that a lot of the harvest action, the early stuff, will take place in February. So I suppose that you could read that as maybe a positive for the U.S. soybean export program, given that we're going to have another few weeks of a window here. Now, there is some rain slated to hit some of these drier areas in Brazil early next week, in the time frame beginning, say, Monday or Tuesday next week through the 19th or 20th. Some of these drier areas of Brazil are slated to see some decent accumulation. These longer term forecasts, of course, can be flawed, and we'd like to see this forecast verified here over the course of the next several days. Traders expect U.S. corn and soybean yields to drop again in Friday's USDA report. Reuters did their poll of analysts. The average guess for the U.S. corn yield came in at 177.7. That would be down from 178.5 last month. The same poll called for a bean yield of 51.6. That would be down from 51.9 last month. So the trade in general, and this is not everybody, of course, expecting lower corn and soybean yields in Friday's report. And of course, there's a lot of other things that will be featured in Friday's report as well. The government's going to have to account for the lighter September 1st stocks. There could be some demand adjustments made. There are a number of things that could change in that report. December corn futures are only a few cents away from the multi-month highs that were posted last week. I believe you'll see some volatility around that report on Friday, in either direction or both directions, perhaps. There are a lot of things that could change on Friday. Carry in the corn market is not quite as good as what some people would like to see, given this scenario. That carry from December 20 out to July 2021 is 18.5 cents this morning. Given the carry out projections, you would imagine that there would be more carry there. I think there's a couple things going on. I think you've got some buying up front. I think you've got probably lack of farmers selling. I think the farmers are selling beans and not corn here necessarily. And maybe those are just a couple of the items that are driving spread action. There's a lot going on in the soybean market here. You've got open interest essentially at record highs. Fund traders are record long. Commercials are record short. We've got a report Friday. We've got some potential Brazilian weather issues, although it's early. You've got this situation in Argentina where they've just reduced the export tax that could open the door to some exports from Argentina. Chinese demand continues to be a factor here. How long do Chinese purchases continue? We haven't seen anything recently because they've been on holiday, but a lot of moving pieces in this bean market here. Certainly prices acting well here this morning. We're still 16 cents removed from those highs from mid-September in the nearby November soybean contract rather. Wheat market has acted very well. The HRW market posted its best trade since April yesterday. You've got some rising global prices. You've got some potential crop issues in the Black Sea region. You've got a generally weaker U.S. dollar. You've got some dry weather in the U.S. plains that could be a supportive factor. So the wheat market is acting well. Cattle futures were higher yesterday. No cash cattle yet this week. 107 to 108 caught the majority of it last week. So we'll see what develops here today. The stock market acted really well yesterday. President Trump back at the White House. Some people were saying that was a positive factor, and maybe it is. The Dow's up 100 points ahead of the cash open. The S&P is up just a couple of points. Bonds down a little bit. U.S. dollar is about flat. Crude oil's up 67 cents, 39.89. In the November WTI contract. If you'd like some more information, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you are interested in learning or being alerted of when, how, and specifically I'm pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year, check that out. It's $49 a month. You can cancel it at any time. I've got the link in the YouTube description here. Everyone have a wonderful day today. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.